Bam, you're an artist on record, your ultimate intimate conversation with your favorite artist, Doug Cosmo Clifford of Creedence Clearwater Revival. He has new music straight from Cosmo's vault, California Gold, featuring Bobby Whitlock of Derek and the Dominoes. But in the meantime, get your hands together and make sure you subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and hit that bell to be notified so you don't miss any other episodes. It's all happening now. Don't touch that dial, kids. Bam.
This is Doug Clifford, who plays drums for Creedence Clearwater, who's been there since the start, which was how long ago?
11 years.
Did you, when you first started, know what you were doing?
Not at all, and I still don't. I'm working on it, though. I'm working on it.
Now, if we go back a little bit in time, was Tom the original singer of the band when it was the Blue Velvets? What's the story with that?
Tom was not in the Blue Velvets.
Okay, he wasn't in the Blue Velvets. Okay.
But he was, when we did have a singer, he was the singer. And he was in a band called Spider Webb and the Insects. And they were a good band, but they were prototypical musicians. And Tom had the foresight to learn a couple songs, record them, go to LA and try to get a deal for the band.
Tom, how would you characterize this music?
Characterize? Rock and roll music. It's the only logical or explanation. It's just there's all those terms that people have invented, but it's really just rock and roll music.
So he comes in to their rehearsal and he says, "Okay, I'm going to teach you 2 songs, and we're going to record them, and then I'm going to go to LA and try and get a deal." And they said, "Are we getting paid?" He says, no, this is costing me a fortune and my time and energy. No. He said, "Are going to be any chicks there?" No. The recording session to try and get a deal. So he just, they said, "This is the closer." They said, "We'd rather work on our cars." Enter the Blue Velvet.
Have you ever been lonely? Have you ever been blue?
So he had always been very supportive of us as an older brother. My brother would just beat me up when I wasn't looking, So Tom was not that way. He was treated us as equals and was just really a cool guy.
Yeah.
And so we learned these 2 songs and went in and cut them, and nothing ever came of it. But we had these acetate little singles that are good for about 10 plays, and then they start getting scratched. Well, I probably played mine 100 times. Anyone who would come over and say, "You want to hear my band's record?" So, very proud of it, and that was the beginning. So when we did that, we were Tommy Fogerty and the Blue Velvets. And then we signed with Fantasy, and they gave us the name the Golliwogs, and which we hated, and the uniforms that went with the name the Golliwogs was equally as bad as the name itself. And but Tom paid for everything, and when it got to the point where the music was going a little bit in a different direction, from the 60s love ballads to actual solid rock and roll, he turned the lead vocals over to John, because John's voice was better suited for it. No problems, no ego about it. And then we had a hit, and it was *1 in San Jose and Sacramento. Stu and I were going to San Jose State at the time, and I was going to a history class, and boomboxes were big on campus, but not in the classroom, but in between classes, or go into the cafeteria, and people would play their music. But anyway, I go by and there's our song being played, and it's #1. I go, tell the guy that's holding the boombox, I says, hey, that's me playing drums and that's my band. He says, it is not. I says, that's me playing drums and that's my band right there. And he says, fuck you. Okay, so much for that. Bit of a letdown. But anyway, it enabled us to re-equip. I got a new Ludwig set of drums, and the guys got amps. This is prior to us having a real hit with SUZIE Q. But everybody reinvested in ourselves, and then eventually we got well, I think we went in and cut 4 tracks, and SUZIE Q was in there. And I changed SUZIE Q from an 8th notes with my right hand, and this is before the big hi-hats, but it was an 8th note thing, so I changed it in the clubs to a quarter note beat. With my right hand, and in between the beats, I hit a bass drum hit. So boom, bah, boom, boom, bah. That's it. When you hear the SUZIE Q, it enters with the drums fade in, and you can really hear it then. It's just, I mean, that's all that's being played is that beat. But I created this quarter note beat that would just, it was a power, and it also, it enhanced the natural reverb from the guitars, because there was a lot more room, because I wasn't filling it up with the 8th notes, even though I was playing the 8th notes with my bass drum. That was in a lower register. That just kicked it, you know, in the ass, and made a difference.
Absolutely.
Made that a dance song, and not a rockabilly song.
Is when it kicks in, it just.
Oh, yeah. Born on the Bayou, I kept it as a quarter note, but the bass drum pattern was different, because I'm not going to play the same thing twice. It's a quarter note on the bell of the cymbal most of the when it's chorus time, and then back into the open part of the ride cymbal on Born on the Bayou. But then I'm playing the boom. That's what I'm doing with my foot. So I'm playing the accent that the guys are playing with their guitars, but I'm just playing it on the syncopated parts. Killer. Just and it's just, less is best. I take stuff away.
Absolutely, less is best. That's what's so good about you guys. I mean, the groove, the bottom is always there. It never drops, you know, it's always there.
Yeah, well, it has to be. If we're going to play rock and roll, it has to be that way. And I had that discussion at one point, and it was agreed on one of the few. Well, yeah. So, yeah, it's. I love the documentary. It's just, you know, it gives people a chance to see what we did and how we did it. We kept it very simple, very basic, but always in the groove, and with power there.
The legendary Doug Cosmo Clifford of Creedence Clearwater Revival, and you can find this episode unedited, uncut in our all access VIP backstage pass and Patreon. By you joining our Patreon supports the channel. Also, it's exclusive and it's made for you. Get California Gold. That is out with legendary Bobby Whitlock of Derek and the Dominoes, and we'll be talking more about California Gold in the weeks to come. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell to be notified so you don't miss those episodes. But in the meantime, everybody, it's only rock and roll, and we like it. And remember, who loves you, baby? We do. Until then, we'll see you all later. Now get out of here, you crazy kids.